Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Ayutthaya. And what we're going to take a look at is we're going to take a look at a really cool temple, one of my favorite ones here on the city island. It's an active monastery and it's been active since its inception in like about 1440-ish or so, under the reign of King Boromma, big whole long name. Anyway, the name of it is Wat Thammikarat. And it was named after one of King U-Thong's ministers. King U-Thong was the first king of the Ayutthaya era. Anyway, this is a cool temple. It has a little bit of Khmer influence, and it has a lot of early Ayutthaya, middle Ayutthaya, late Ayutthaya styling. And we'll go through here and we'll take a look. Now, it's really famous for one of the Buddha images that's in here. It's actually a replica. The original is in a museum. That's the Wat Sam Phraya or whatever it is, the museum right over here on Ayutthaya's island. But it is a replica, same pose, the same style, everything else. Anyway, we're going to go and we'll look at it. The reclining Buddha is under reconstruction. They're remodeling the whole hall, but we'll be able to see all the rest of the temple. Let's look around here and let's enjoy it. So the famous Buddha is in this hall right here. Then we have another hall that's in kind of ruins right here. And it has a replica of the big head. The big head is actually in the Bangkok National Museum. And then this is a really cool chetty right here. And it will have the Khmer lions that we'll see out front here. And this is only one of two that have the lions around the base in all of Thailand. The other one is in Chiang Mai, I believe. There's a couple that have elephants. There's Wat Chang here in Ayutthaya that has the elephants, and then Wat Chang up at Si Sachanalai that has the elephants also. We'll look at it here at the last of it. And this is the hall. This is a really cool building. Now, all of this temple was damaged, destroyed during the fall of Ayutthaya, but monks stayed in residence here. And then King Rama V in the 1800s came over and restored what you see now. And they have a little write-up here about the big Buddha head that they found on site here. And that's the one that's in the Bangkok National Museum, and I've seen it. It's quite amazing. And I have a little mural of it also over there. So this is the main Buddha of this temple. And like I said, it is an active temple. There are monks here. So if you want to come over and get the blessing and everything from them, they're here to take care of all that. So the hall, you could see up there, what they did is they put a new roof over the top of it. And it was open air whenever Rama V came in and restored this. And you see that one right there. It's that little bronze Buddha right in the front. Now, it's one of the 9 sacred Buddhas in all of Ayutthaya, and it was actually brought in here from the north, they say, and it was brought in, and they say that it has the powers to create rain during droughts, which is important for, you know, an agriculture type economy that Ayutthaya had. And I'm sure this building here, back in the old days, had mural paintings, but with it being, you know, roofless, any of the murals would have long faded away. Yeah, this is a really cool building. I like this. I like the way they incorporate the old ruin and they still make it functional. I wish they did it like this to a lot of the temples in Ayutthaya. Yeah, so here's the old head. And it is Khmer styling to me. Now, with the Khmer styling here, whenever this temple was built in the 1440s or so, you have to remember Angkor was sacked by Ayutthaya. So whenever they sacked Ayutthaya in 1431, they brought tens of thousands of their artisans and craftsmen over here. So they incorporated all of their styling into the temples and everything here in Ayutthaya. And you can see here, this is the ordination hall. Those are the old Buasima stones right there that mark the perimeter of this temple. Okay, so let's go up into this hall now, and then we'll look at the chetty, which is really, really cool. Okay, so let's go up into this vihan. Now they call it vihan Song Tham. This temple was located really close to the former royal palace, which is just to the west of us here. So the royals would have came over here and they would have listened to sermons and everything like that in this preaching hall. And this was a royal temple. So they would have came over here during Buddhist holidays. And just over there, you can see the glass wall just over there. That was the royal palace. So it was strategically located. And you could see the size of this building really showed how important this temple was. Now it's really cool because it has, you see these little window slits here. Those are, what do they call those? Balustrades or something like that, which that was a architectural feature of early Ayutthaya and middle Ayutthaya. They break down the phases of Ayutthaya temple construction into early, middle, and late. And each one has some different characteristics of it, and that's one of them. You can see the size of these columns. So you see how it's a round column, but they did the plasterwork to make it into an octagon. And the reason why is Ayutthaya, they saw the island itself as an octagon. The way that the three rivers kind of circled it made it look like an octagon. So that's kind of the reason why you see that. But what a massive, massive hall this is. Oh, this would have been so amazing to see back when it was in use. Yeah, this place is absolutely massive. And they've came back in and they've put a smaller Buddha image in here. Now at this temple here, this was actually where, it's been mentioned in the Royal Chronicles a few times. It was mentioned back in the 1500s. There was a usurper that tried to take over the king's, or the crown, and he was imprisoned here. Phra Sa or something like that. And then the other time is after Boromma in 1758 or so. He died and he had 3 sons, and 2 of the sons fought to the death to try to get the crown, and then the 3rd son was crowned, and it's mentioned at this. It looks like they've tore some stuff up here. Right back there, they've tore all that apart, so they're redoing something. So that massive Buddha would have been sitting right here in this hall. And you can see here, they just built a new pedestal out of brick for that one. And then you can see how this would have been shaped with the bricks and then put plaster over the top of it. It would have been really, really spectacular. It's settled over the years. All right, so let's go and let's walk around the Chedi now. I have some little data things here talking about Rama V, renovating it. And then here's that imprisonment of Phra Sil was his name. Yeah, and so the royals also, there was a place just off to the west here where they would bathe before they went into the royal palace. And they also had some of the ceremonies for like the oath giving and everything like that. I think they did them over here. There's some more water. Okay, so let's look at the Chedi. And then we'll stick our head in and see at least the feet of the big, huge reclining Buddha that's 20 meters long or so. Yeah, so you can see here. So it shows that the stucco lions, there's 13 on each side with the ones on the corner. So there's a total of 52 lions around this. Now this was a bell-shaped Chedi, and it probably would have been like a corn cob back in the original time. Like I said though, whenever Angkor was sacked by Ayutthaya, they forcibly moved tens of thousands of workers. So the most skilled workers were relocated from Siem Reap over here to Ayutthaya. So they brought their skills and their artistry with them. Artistry, if that's if I said it right. And then they incorporated, it kind of merged with Ayutthaya styling plus the Sukhothai style, because Sukhothai was incorporated into Ayutthaya also. So the lions symbolize like guardians and in the Khmer, and they guard the entrances to the temples. And you can see here they have the Naga also. Oh, it's really nice. Yeah, these little lions, you can see they're brick with the plaster around them. There's another little Chedi out here. And a bunch more over here at the Chetty Field. And then you can see they're renovating that big, huge vihan. And originally this would have had probably a set of stairs to go up there. This may be the best lion here. I was kind of looking for it. You can see it still has a little bit of the red, or they put it back on there. You can see all the styling, and there would have been probably a Buddha image in between each one of these. Yeah, I really, really like that. That is so cool. And it looks like this right here is the top of the Chetty. So that would have been originally way up there. You can see it would have been a Sri Lankan bell, but it was probably built over the top of another one. And it is octagonal, and I can see some laterite stones here. So you can see the laterite stones, which was the building material that the Khmer used a lot. They used brick, the laterite stone, and then they used the sandstone in their castles. That is really cool. And there used to be a Khmer outpost here in Ayutthaya. Now the lions come from them. It's 7th to 13th century or so is kind of the Khmer art. But it also originated in India, I believe in like the 3rd century. And then the Khmer took it and incorporated it into their design. And then you see how they did it here in Ayutthaya. Over here we have another little vihan. And all the Thais have put the chickens here. And then you have a statue, I believe that's King U-Thong over there. So this is just down to the base. You can see it has the little bit of the walls and a little bit of the column bases. So this would have had a porch going all the way around it. And then you can see it would have had a massive Buddha image right back there. You can see the legs of it and the rest of the core. You can see a little bit of the body there also. And then they've put a small one here in front. And they would have used this for, you know, their royal ceremonies, everything else. And this is a small vihan right next to the main sermon hall, the royal sermon hall. And you can see how they notched those columns too. Those would have had the cross beams going over that would have supported the roof and the walls. And then now you got a humongous tree that's taken over the side of this vihan. And then it has the normal styling across the bottom here. Okay, so let's go look at that reclining Buddha. It has a little Khmer symbol on its feet also. And it's just another one of the little elements about the Khmer in this temple. Yeah, so you can see the workers up there. They're putting the new roof tiles on it. And looks like they painted all the eaves and everything. And you can see the, look at this, what it looked like before it was restored by Rama V. Yeah, so you can see it's blocked off, but you can see the head of it here. And then they got all the scaffolding up and everything. Yep, and that's the feet of the reclining Buddha. We can't see any more than that. Looks like they've redone the gold on it also. You can see a little bit of this symbol on the feet. And they're redoing all around it, everything else. I don't know when it'll be finished, but it'll look nice when they get it done. Then they have a place over here to get the blessing from the monk and make donations to the temple and everything. And let's look at this. Oh, so this is kind of interesting. So here's an old ancient Buddha footprint. You can see the toes and everything here. And then they have one of the old Sema stones that was around that ordination hall. And then here is the big, huge head. Now, like I said, this is a replica. The original is in Bangkok. You see the new modern Buddha. Then they've put some of the lions around. And then the image here, it's in a little, like a lotus flower, like a little katong. All right, that's pretty cool. Well, that'll finish up our video over here at this old temple here in Ayutthaya, this Wat Thammikarat, if that's how you say it. Like I said at the start, it was built probably in the 1440s or so, and it was named after one of the ministers of King U-Thong. This is a really, really good example of kind of the fusion of the different styles. You come over here, you can see the early Ayutthaya influence, the middle, the late. You can see the Khmer styling that came in after you know, the workers were brought in from Angkor, you know, in 1431 or so. It's quite cool. I really like this. There's other things to see here also. There's a huge well that actually has terracotta pipes that was used probably to where they could pump water into the Grand Palace and some other things here. It's on the north side of the island, over here by Wat Sampet, the old Grand Palace, and then there's Wat Pramen across the Lopburi River. So there's a bunch more to see. So if you're over here, definitely stop by and take a look at it. I really enjoyed it. I've been here several times. I think the last time was probably 2 years ago or so. So it was I was a little bit overdue to come over here and make another video. It's definitely a good time. I would highly recommend it. I'll come back again after they finish remodeling that reclining Buddha. It's definitely something you want to see too. It's quite cool. I like the reclining Buddhas. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and then you get to see some more stuff like this. And if you have any questions or comments, or if you've been here, let me know down below. I would like to know if you know more about this temple than I do. Definitely enlighten me. I like to learn more. So, and that way the other viewers and stuff can read more about it also. And until next time, from over here in Ayutthaya, remember, life is a journey. So until next time, enjoy. Planning a trip is always stressful, but Yesem takes one of the stresses out. Open the Apple Store or the Google Store, search for Yesem, install the app, and then you can search your plans. They have regional, they have country specific, or they have worldwide, and you can have pay-as-you-go plans as well. Installing the app is super easy. First-time users use the code ENDLESS25 with a capital E, and it will save you up to 20%. It takes about 3 minutes. Just follow the simple instructions. You can activate the plan immediately or upon arrival. Then all you simply do is open up the settings, turn your line off, turn Yesem on. You can check your balance at any time through the app. And then when you're at the airport, just simply walk by all of the eSIMs and enjoy your holiday.